And greetings, welcome back. And I think it's time to discuss the most important event of the year, which is ESL Challenger Melbourne. So, with such incredible teams attending the event, um, I believe it's safe to assume that it's time for Bad News Eagles to actually win the trophy. And if they don't, well, I think they have to question themselves because this is a perfect kinda event for them to actually win something. And again, spot in ESL Pro League as well, season 18, which at the moment only quite a few spots. And yeah, like best teams already in there. Someone like Complexity is still like gonna probably squeeze in for the some other qualifier or whatever. But yeah, can someone explain to me why is EG still in the Pro League? This matchmaking team is not supposed to be here, but whatever. If they pay for the spot, well, it adds up to the prize pool. Screw that. So, um, with all that said, let's just try and predict unpredictable games, right? The first game is going to be Complexity against Static. Well, it's safe to assume that the Static not going to do that well. Uh, and I won't be surprised that they even lose to EG because it's going to be LAN, right? It's not online where they can do 3-2 or use Radar, as they were accused a couple of times. But in general, on LAN, they haven't really performed ever when they participated in LAN events. So um, for me, it's not gonna be that tough to kind of predict that Complexity is just gonna demolish them, and EG Black gonna lose to Greyhound. Uh, Most likely, it's gonna be some sort of a close game, but Greyhound, if they're not screwing around and yeah, they wanna do well in a home event, well, then EG Black is kind of perfect team for them to kind of play against. But in reality, EG Black with the Rush Junior, Volko, Hext, and George might not be that easy to beat. Um, so I'm expecting all three maps on EG Black against Greyhound and quick 2-0 complexity static. Now the other group, Bad News Eagles against Vertex. Mm, Vertex, we've seen the last time they were playing, and that wasn't even remotely decent. So it's 2-0, maybe 12 rounds total, like on two maps for Vertex. If they get more, I'll be really surprised. Movistar against Rare Atom. This is the interesting one. And even though Rare Atom didn't qualify for the major, they did play decent. And uh, Movistar, I kind of believe into them, but something tells me that Rare Atom can have a chance here, right? And they actually can beat them. But after that, Movistar is gonna play Vertex, and game against Vertex is easy peasy lemon squeezy. So that's another 2-0, in which Movistar can actually farm some points. And then probably gonna be a rematch Atom against Movistar, in which European side is probably gonna take a W, because I don't believe that Red Atom can beat European team twice. Maybe once, maybe playing Inferno, they can win that game, right? But any other map, I don't see any chance, right? So the winners game is probably going to be Movistar, sorry, Red Atom, the first one against Bad News Eagles. Bad News Eagles, uh, I don't think they're going to let Inferno slip, and they're just going to close them 2-0 as well, and Red Atom are going to drop back. And then again, Movistar against Vertex. Movistar should be winning 2-0, and a rematch game against rare item. Mm, Most likely Movistar gonna win, and they're not gonna let Inferno through in the second game. So I'm expecting 2-0 and GG. Bad News Eagles first, Movistar second. Now, Group A Complexity will be facing Greyhound, and even though Greyhound will be playing at home, I don't think that Greyhound has a chance to beat Complexity at the moment, right? Uh, I'm I'm really glad to see how Grim is developing. I'm a big fan of him. I was going the guy through my fantasy teams for quite a while, and yeah, when he was on Liquid especially, I had a lot of faith in him. But well, Liquid was just Liquid, and now in Complexity, he's actually showing that he's a leader of the team. So I still think that Complexity needs some changes to actually be really competitive. But for now, for this type of event, it's going to be enough to probably reach the final and play for the win, for the 50k and ESL Challenger spot, ESL Pro League spot. So now the losers games. EG Black against the Static. Uh, I kind of think that the Static is the worst team over here, but have no idea if EG Black is practicing or they just like coming to play the event. If they are practicing properly, then this can go to all three maps. If they're not practicing, then Static probably gonna take their first win on LAN against some sort of a name, right? Against some sort of an org. And then I'm expecting a Static against Greyhound, and this game probably gonna be like 2-1 for Greyhound, and Complexity and Greyhound going through, right? Then if we actually think of the first meeting second, then Complexity gonna play against Movistar, and then Bad News Eagles gonna play against Greyhound. Eagles should be demolishing Greyhound 2-0. I I don't expect Eagles to drop a single map unless they like go to the final and then meet Complexity. Then I do expect them to drop one map. But if somehow Complexity manages to lose to Movistar in the semifinal, which is a possibility, because Complexity they do have that kind of weak links in a team where one of them can just like go to 220 or like 516 whatever on a map where everyone else is playing really well. Like it can be occasionally floppy, it can be bang, it can be even like JT. Even Halzerg does have a poor game sometimes, but like Halzerg most of the time is consistent, same as Grim, right? So Mm, my prediction is quite obvious. It's going to be a game between Complexity and Bad News Eagles in the final, in which I expect Bad News Eagles to actually win. Uh, I hope for 2-0, but in reality, I think it's going to be 2-1, and Bad News Eagles gonna win the first trophy they have. So um, now let's drop to the team, and I'm not gonna waste any time because I kind of already made my mind with the team, and I'll explain you why. If we look at the event overview, we're gonna see that like it's uh, it's basically 3 players from the complexity and 4 players from Bad News Eagles, and everyone else is just not really playing. There's 1,300 entries, and that's just sad at the moment. Like you still have those amazing prices, especially now when like prices are inflated so much. Like even racing green gloves, they cost, right. Hyper beast skins always great, even though it's field tested ones, but still they're great. And 1,300 players, damn, everyone has a good chance, right? Um, Still better than opening knife in CSGO. So everyone is kind of utilizing the same players, even though Mopus is silver at the moment, but he's not playing like a silver, right? He's playing more like I would say bronze card, right? So let me just drop back to my team, and let me show you some examples what I was considering a great option, right? Alzak and Floppy, that's one thing, because Floppy, he does have that those games when he just goes and takes completely over the games, right? Alzak can demolish anyone, like if he's in the mood. Uh, and together with that, maybe one of the Greyhound players, because you do expect them to go to the playoffs. And if we look at the All-Star, then his CT rating is 1.08 and T rating is 1, and 198k is pretty decent. And then you have almost 400k for the remaining player, and well, you can always get Rigon, and he's really great, like majority of the time, even though sometimes he can drop, right? And with that, you don't really have any other good options, right? But you can always utilize scenario, right? And over here, you can even go for the upgrades, right? You can always upgrade one of these players, and maybe if you are like me and you expect mm, kind of upset, right? Then technically you can go for someone like Martinez, right? And you can even take Soso. And yes, if you really like gamble and you expect like unexpected result over here, like these players are kind of great for you. Even Juan Flatrock is possible over here. And Scenario, I don't remember last time when Scenario was playing great, but as an IGL role, when you have other four players that potentially can carry the games, even Soso, he can carry the games. But like if you actually look at these players, you most likely to to actually pick Soso over the Mopers, right? Because like rating is really similar, but if you actually watch the games, then you will see that Soso is playing way better roles than Mopers, right? So technically, this is a good option, right? And Scenario is an IGL, right? He's gonna like bring you decent points. So as a support, he's still gonna bring you the good points, right? When other four players potentially can get you loads and loads of points. But I am hoping for the Grim Supremacy. And yeah, let me just refresh my fantasy team and I'll just show you what I have once again. So that's not the one. So once again, GXX and Synopsy, right? GXX, um, he's not that sniper that's gonna be like popping off every game, but when he does, damn, he can go like 20 to 1 on a single map, and yeah, just team has to finish it, right? And if he actually does that, then it's going to be like 2.6 rating. It's going to be insane. Grim, always solid, always hits his 30 bombs, right? Synopsy is a secondary carry, and I'm going to use him as a leader. Floppy as a support player with a T rating. On the CT side, he's not really playing that many of the great positions, right? And Davi G. Um, with Davi G, it's kind of weird, right? He does have mechanical abilities, right? He does have aim, but his game sense is slightly lacking, but only against top teams, right? We don't really have any top teams over here, other than, well, I'm gonna call Bad News Eagles a top team right now. They they proved themselves recently, so they are top team right now. And anyone else, um, I believe he's gonna be good enough to hit 1.1 rating, which most likely gonna cover his negative points from Bad News Eagles game. And even if they don't qualify, I expect him to at least be in like green zone at the end of the tournament, maybe with like 2 to 5 points, but still it's gonna be green zone. When my expectation is for these players to actually uh, get all the points, right? In terms of boosters, trading, most likely yes. Uh, Top of the scoreboard against a static, the Grim most likely gonna farm really hard. If it's not gonna be a Grim on top of the scoreboard, it's gonna be Hellswork, right? Um, Synopsy, assists. I'm pretty sure they're gonna play really aggressive, so uh, there will be a lot of assists on players like Synopsy, Juan Fatro, Suneri. I have no doubt in that. Floppy with just the boost, I have no idea of his form right now, and I do expect just to get 5 points from over here, and that's it. Don't care about anything else. Davi G with the bait. Oh, he actually does get baited quite a lot, and he does enter like second and third. So if first person dies, he gets a trade, and then he dies, and someone else gets a trade. So that's kind of how it works, right? That's T sides. On CT sides, he does go like first for retakes. So even on retakes, he goes in first. He dies, he gets traded. So that's how I see it. And yeah, in terms of a leaderboard, if anyone is interested, uh, even though all my analysis, like majority of the time, they hit the top notch. Then in reality, my season is quite poor, only for those reasons that I really wanted to gamble a lot this season, so I was just using like complete gambling lineups most of the time without actually pulling through like proper teams, right? Uh, I believe it's great that some other people are gonna win prizes, and well, I'm not in such a need, right? So anyway, uh, good luck, have fun, and let me know what you think. Yeah.